Welcome back to our series on tracing your family tree. This is episode 7. We shift from gathering stories to uncovering the historical figures behind them. So far, we've built our tree back through recent generations, using census records, birth certificates, and the living memories of our relatives. We've collected names, dates, and locations, forming a rich tapestry of our recent past. But as we push further back in time, the records become scarcer, the names less certain, and the stories more fragmented. This is the point where genealogy often feels like hitting a brick wall, but it's also where the real detective work begins. The moment you can transform a simple name on a chart into a fully realized historical character. Today, we're going to bridge that gap. We're going to talk about the exhilarating moment of the dramatic reveal, when a single and authenticated document cuts through centuries of ambiguity and brings one of your ancestors to life. In our last episode, we were searching for the parents of an 8th great-grandmother, a woman we only knew as Sarah. For example, she lived somewhere in colonial Virginia in the early 1700s. The trail had gone cold. We had her approximate birth year and her husband's name, but no marriage record, no birth record, and no will naming her parents. She was a ghost in the machine of our family history. This is the challenge that awaits every genealogist as they approach what I call the 17th century wall. Records from this era are notoriously difficult to find and interpret. But the key isn't to find a mountain of evidence. Sometimes, all it takes is one. In our case, after months of searching through digitized county court records, land patents, and parish registers, we found it. A single, verified primary record that changed everything. It wasn't a will or a birth certificate, but a dusty land dispute document from 1748. The document detailed a legal conflict over a 50-acre plot of land on the frontier of what was then a sprawling Virginia county. It described the property's history, tracing its ownership back several decades. And there, buried in the dense, handwritten legal script, was the crucial line. It mentioned the land being formerly the dowry of Sarah, daughter of William Thornton, upon her marriage to John Knight. In that one sentence, the ghost was given a name, a father, and a place in history. Our Sarah was Sarah Thornton, and her father was William Thornton. This wasn't just a guess or a theory based on proximity. It was a direct statement of fact recorded in a primary source document from the time. This single record acted as a key, unlocking the door to the previous generation and firmly establishing our 10th great-grandparent, William Thornton, as a verifiable historical person. He was no longer just a hypothetical name. He was a landowner, a father, and the main character of this chapter of our family's story. This moment of discovery is the heart of genealogical research. Finding that one definitive piece of evidence is what allows us to confidently leap back one more generation, especially into a period as sparsely documented as the late 1600s and early 1700s. William Thornton, born around 1650, now becomes our focus. With his identity confirmed, we can begin to search for records specifically tied to him. We can look for his will, land purchases, and any mentions in court or church records. We can start to reconstruct his world. Was he an immigrant from England? Or was he born in the colonies? What was his occupation? What was his role in his community? The land dispute document not only gave us his name but also provided a specific location and a time frame to anchor our search. It transformed our research from a speculative hunt into a focused investigation of a genuine, once living individual's life. This is how you find your main character in the distant past. by painstakingly seeking that one pivotal record that cuts through the fog of history. As you continue your own journey, remember that patience and persistence are your greatest tools. You will encounter many brick walls and dead ends. You will spend countless hours sifting through documents that yield nothing but the search for that one document. That single sentence that connects the dots is what makes this process so rewarding. It's the moment your family tree stops being a simple chart and starts becoming a collection of real stories about real people who lived, loved, and struggled hundreds of years ago. By focusing on primary, verified records, you ensure that the story you tell is not just a family legend but a true history. You honor your ancestors by finding their place in the historical journey and bringing their identities out of the shadows. The thrill of that dramatic reveal, of finally meeting your 10th great-grandparent, is a feeling unlike any other, and it's the fuel that will carry you even further back in time.